Hey everyone, I'm Eric Brandt and welcome to a new video series here on NBA Uprise called My Top 5. This is just going to be a series of shorter videos with a certain topic for each video. I'm just going to name my top 5 for that category. I want participation from anyone watching this video as well. Please, in the comments below, leave what your top 5 would be for whatever the subject is. If you disagree with my top 5 or have an issue with any of my choices, I'd love to hear from you as well. And then also give me suggestions on future videos. I have a bunch planned, but would be more than happy to take your suggestions. We're trying to grow this third channel as more of a general NBA discussion channel. And we have our normal Blazers Uprise. So if you're subscribed to those, or if you would just like to see our NBA content and don't really want to have any content specifically towards the Portland Trail Blazers, I really appreciate if you consider subscribing to the channel and helping us out there. Thank you. So without further ado, let's get into it. These are my top 5 rookies I'm looking forward to watching this season. This isn't necessarily my top 5 rookies that I have ranked. These are just 5 players that I am really looking forward to the storylines around them, or some of the narratives around the team that drafted them and how they fit in with their current roster, and just 5 players that I'm going to be paying extra close attention to. This is very hard for me to pare it down to 5 considering how many rookies I was very high on going into the 2022 draft. Let's get right into this list. At number 5, I have Nikola Jokic of the Miami Heat. This is a player that fell to the 27th pick in the draft, and I think this is going to be someone who we look back on, and it's another Miami Heat success story. They always seem to find these guys, and you wonder, how did they acquire him, or how was he not on a team before, or whatever the case may be with several of their players in previous seasons. It's just, people are going to question, how did this guy slip to the 27th pick? And I think his offensive game, being able to handle the ball out of the pick and roll at his size, and also being able to play make a little bit, to shoot the ball a little bit, I just think that could help solve some of the Heat's problems they encountered in the playoffs last year and kind of unlock that team a little bit. And we'll see if that happens or not, but it'll definitely be one of those guys who is in a good situation to succeed, and it's just going to be up to him whether he does it or not, and I believe he will, and I think it'll be fascinating to watch. All right, at number 4, I have AJ Griffin of the Atlanta Hawks, who was selected with the 16th pick. We saw Atlanta go out and solidify their backcourt by acquiring DeJounte Murray, kind of an all-in move there, and now they need some health and consistency on the wings. And unfortunately, AJ Griffin isn't the picture of health, so hopefully he can stay on the court and help him out. But if he can, this guy is a sniper who can shoot it from deep. He'll help space the floor, and I'm really excited to see how he fits in with that new backcourt and helps that Atlanta Hawks team try to recover and get back to the Eastern Conference Finals like they did 2 seasons ago. At number 3 of my top 5 rookies to watch this year, I have Keegan Murray of the Sacramento Kings. The Kings, surprisingly to some people, took him with the 4th pick over Shaden Sharpe. Now, this has nothing to do with Keegan Murray as a player in my mind. I think he's going to be very good. I am interested to see how he fills up the scoring sheet like he did in Iowa last year, if he can replicate that in the NBA. I think he's going to be a fun player to watch who will get minutes right away as a rotation player for the Kings. But the Kings have kind of a checkered history of drafting the wrong player. In recent years, they've had De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell's had some good moments at the end of last season. But overall, it's a team that has very questionable picks, primarily going back to 2018 when they picked Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic and altered the course of several franchises from there. And it's those kind of decisions where you don't always pick the consensus player to be selected with those picks. It can sometimes be a wonderful decision, right? And that's what's going to be interesting here to me, is that you compare these guys for the rest of their careers. Did they make the right decision? Now, it could turn out that Keegan Murray was absolutely the right choice, and he could be much better than Shaden Sharpe and help the Kings get back to the playoffs like they haven't been in a long, long time. I think they have the current active longest streak of not making the playoffs. So he could be the type of player that helps them get back to there. But if Jaden Ivey becomes a star and goes to multiple All-Star games and leads the Detroit Pistons to success, there's going to be those question marks popping up. So it's more of a storyline of, is Keegan that guy, or are they going to be looking at him like, man, we could have had someone else, like several of their draft picks over the years in Sacramento. At number 2, I have Shaden Sharpe of the Portland Trail Blazers, who was selected with the 7th pick. It's going to seem like a homer pick being a Blazer fan, but honestly, he might have been number 1 had he been on a team where he was guaranteed to get major minutes and play a huge role this year. There's still question marks on how he's going to earn minutes on this Portland Trail Blazers team, who is loaded at guard. But if he can crack the rotation and get some minutes right away, I just want to see this guy play in action, man. We had a case where he went to Kentucky. There was some eligibility stuff that he wasn't eligible until later in the season, and then decided not to play for Kentucky. And then finally he gets on the court, Summer League, first game. We're all excited to watch him play. And within 6 minutes, he's out of the game with a shoulder injury and did not play the rest of Summer League and has been rehabbing since. I just want to see this guy in action. I'm sure a lot of you do as well. And whether he's on the Blazers or whatever team he was on, I just want to see if he's good or not. We saw like an amazing shot in those 6 minutes. He missed a couple of threes prior to that, but didn't really get a true sense of how good this guy is. And since we don't have anything else other than like high school and AAU film, I just want to see him on the court playing in an NBA game. Can he hang with NBA players? We saw recently Damian Lillard came out and said that this guy has all-world talent. And when someone like that describes you in that way, you have to be somewhat good. Dame's been working out with him at the practice facility here in Oregon. And yeah, so I just want to see this guy on the court and play basketball, and I'm excited to see him do so. And hopefully he's so good that he helps my Portland Trail Blazers out as well. And finally, at number 1, I have Paulo Bencaro of the Orlando Magic. This might seem like kind of an obvious pick since he went first overall, but I just think it's going to be really intriguing to see if a guy with that kind of skill set can elevate a franchise the way several other players with similar skill sets did in the past. I'm not saying he will measure up to some of those guys, but when you have a player who's 6'10", who can handle the ball the way he can, who can create shots for himself and create for others and make teammates better, can you elevate an entire franchise to the next level? And this Orlando Magic team has a ton of young talent between Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Cole Anthony. The list probably goes on further than that I'm forgetting. But I just think Paulo has such a unique skill set, and those type of players who can do the things he can do on the basketball court usually are game changers for franchises. And I just want to see if he's legit and if he can do that in a city that hasn't had a ton of success playoff wise outside of a run in 2009, and then going all the way back to the Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway days in the mid-90s. So can Paulo be that guy who puts Orlando on the map with this current iteration of the team? Those are my top 5 rookies to watch. I want to know in the comments below. Give me your top 5 rookies that you're looking forward to watching, and hopefully we can make this super interactive. I want to read everyone's list down in the comments. And also, if you disagreed with any of my top 5, feel free to discuss those with me as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Really appreciate all of you. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Until the next My Top 5, I'll see you later.